Hi guys, it's Rizzo, and I thought I would do a video on all the questions that I had popping up in my head being a newly diagnosed type 1. So when I found out that I was a type 1 diabetic just about a month ago, I immediately started having tons of questions that I was thinking of and wanted to ask my doctor. So I did make a list of questions that I took with me to my doctor appointment and to my first diabetic nutritionist appointment. And I thought I would just share with you some of those thoughts. Some of them might seem silly or even dumb, but I'm just a really honest, upfront person, and I just wanted to kind of go over those questions that I was first thinking of. Now, I took that list of questions. Hi, everyone. Me, Ace, my new kitten who doesn't want to sit still. I took my questions with me, and definitely if you are newly diagnosed or have questions, definitely take them with you to your doctor. This was the answers they gave me. Some of them I still don't have answers for, but I guess, don't go off of my answers. Definitely check with your own physician and nutritionist on what those question answers would be. So one of the first questions I thought of immediately, sorry, Ace is knocking down my decorations, was, what medications is it okay to take? What medications should I definitely not take? I haven't really had a chance to go over that yet with my physician. So yeah, that's to come later. I also had watched a lot of YouTube videos on the continuous glucose monitoring systems. That was one of the big questions I had. And I seen a lot of videos where people were either using the Libre, which is a device that goes on the back of your arm, and you can scan your phone over it and it will give you your blood sugar reading. There's also the Dexcom, or Dexcom, I should say, that is also a monitoring device that sends the information to your phone every 5 minutes that you can look at. And they also have an alarm system, so you can set it for whatever desired blood sugar amounts that you want to stay within, and you can set it up so if I get too low, then an alarm goes off, and it actually gives me time to do that adjustment before it gets too low. And same thing with being too high of a blood sugar. It actually will send an alarm and let me know that it's getting too high. And so at my first doctor appointment with my original family physician, he actually had the Libre there so I could look at the device, and he brought it in and I looked at it. It's kind of a round, like circular device, and he kind of showed me how it worked and the actual little prong that was that stays in your body, and didn't really go into a lot of detail with it. And then once I had to switch physicians due to my insurance, and I seen a diabetic nurse practitioner, she also talked about the devices, and she actually had a Dexcom. So I told her I was really, really interested in the Dexcom just because it does have the alarm system. And I felt that being brand new diabetic type 1, that was very interesting to me, because I think being scared of getting too low or too high was just something that really scared me. So having that kind of was giving me a peace of mind to maybe try that one out. So I was lucky because my doctor ended up being able to let me have a week free trial of Dexcom. It was the older device. I think it was the G5. And so they let me come in the office, and they actually put it on me, and I wore it for a total of 7 days. And I absolutely fell in love with it. I knew right away that this device was going to be the one that I was going to choose. So I did end up ordering the Dexcom G6 after trial running that G5, and I'm currently wearing it, as you can see, and my tape is coming off, but that's another one coming up. I just ordered some covers or patches for my Dexcom G6. I have not received them, but I ordered from a few different companies, and I will definitely do a video on that and my reviews on those. But I also had questions regarding just a pump. Right now, a pump to me seems a little scary. It seems a little attached to your body. Obviously, the Dexcom is attached, and I feel like, you know, for me, that gives me that peace of mind that I can check my phone at any time. And I know that, I don't know, it's just overall for me a huge plus. I don't have to check my blood sugars as often, and I do try to check it once in a while, even though they say you don't need to, just to calibrate and make sure that it's within so many digits. So the pump for me, I've chosen right now not to do the pump, only because I feel like, I don't know, I want to be able to regulate it myself and have that freedom without having another device attached to me. So I did get information on it, and maybe someday I will think about it, but for now I've chosen not to do that. Another question I had asked is, you know, how often am I going to have to see the doctor? Right now I am having monthly visits with my diabetic nurse practitioner and the nutritionist. I have my second appointments coming up just within, I think, the week or next week. I also had questions, which I ended up getting answered by researching it myself. And that was, you know, do I really have to check my blood sugar before driving? And I found out here for the state of Iowa that yes, you have to be at a certain level of a blood sugar before driving. So that here, from what I can tell from checking it out, is 80. So I haven't really drove a lot since being diagnosed. I, of course, had the blurry vision. Now I have the glasses that I'm wearing, hopefully, while my body is adjusting. And I have drove a couple of times with my glasses, and I don't know, it's different. So some odd questions that I think I had and still haven't asked is like, can I ever get a tattoo again? I have a few of them. I noticed a lot of diabetics have the diabetic type 1 tattooed on them, and I really think that's kind of cool just because it's permanent. Med bracelet, I am very lucky. I have 3 kids, and my daughter, who is in the middle of my 2 boys, when I was diagnosed, did a wonderful thing. She actually sent me flowers, and then right away she ordered me a medical alert bracelet. So here's my medical alert bracelet. It's one of those that you can actually put essential oils on the black beads, but it actually has like a little deal. I don't know if you can read it, but it says type 1 diabetic right there. So I did go ahead and get that from her, I guess, and I wear it every day, and I never take it off. Some other questions I still have for the doctor, nutritionist is, just like how to prepare for going on a vacation. I haven't left the state. I would like to eventually go on a vacation, especially now after all of this. But I definitely want to know, like, if they have any advice or, any information that would be useful to me on just how to manage and deal with my diabetes while out and about. So some of the other questions, as you can tell, I'm reading from my list of my original questions that I took into my doctor and nutritionist. But another one, I think, as an adult that came to mind is, like, when I started taking insulin, I read a lot about it, and it, said to avoid alcohol. I wanted to ask my nutritionist, I think it was probably one of my first questions, was, as an adult, am I ever allowed to have a drink again? Because I've always heard, that you're not supposed to. But my nutritionist and my doctor, again, this is what they told me. Definitely get your own questions answered by your physician or nutritionist. But I actually was told that I could have a drink, typically never on an empty stomach, but definitely with food, that you needed to offset it with the protein, and of course just drink reasonably. So I have had a chance to have a drink with my supper, and I typically just have one drink. I have drank just a lightweight beer that only has like the 2.6 carbs. And I think one of the things to know about it is it can drop your blood sugars, and it can do so over a long hour period. I think it's like up to 16 hours. So definitely, I was happy to find out I could have a beer with my supper, but I definitely watch it and don't go over that limit. So I also was asking the nutritionist about, how many calories that they wanted me at and how many carbs that I could have a day. So I am still in the honeymoon period, so my body is producing a very tiny amount. So I take my long-acting insulin at nighttime, and then I have a daytime fast-acting insulin that I only take right now if I get over a certain number. So right now they have me anywhere between 30 to 45 carbs that they'd like me to do with each meal. And just depending on what type of carbs that I eat, sometimes it can spike my blood sugar really high, and there's other times where it seems like it doesn't do it too bad. So I'm also making lists, mental lists and notes that of items that I do eat that do that difference. Eating out was another question that I had. When I first got diagnosed, I was scared to eat like any carbs at all. I was strictly doing like 5 grams of carbs or under, or like 10 and under. I just wanted to get to the dietitian before actually eating any carbs. And so she let me know that a lot of places, like companies, restaurants, they actually put their nutrition information on the web. So you can always look up the restaurant and their nutrition and how many carbs are in whatever it is that they have to serve you. So that's been nice. You can always check it out and see and go from there. So that's awesome. I'm glad companies do that for us diabetics, because it just makes it a little bit easier. I think I've only ate at 2 restaurants. I've ate at like Subway, and I think Culver's are the only 2 places that I've currently went out to eat. And a lot of times, like at Culver's, I get the pot roast beef sandwich, I think it is, and it has like, I don't know, 46 carbs or something, but sometimes I still am a little leery of having that many. And so I'll eat like half the sandwich, or I'll do like, take off like the top bun and only eat the bottom half. Same thing with Subway. I think I ordered a sandwich and it's 46 carbs, the ones that I chose to try out. And again, I split it in half the first time and only ate half for lunch and the other half for supper. And it didn't really spike it too much, but then just yesterday I ate my full sandwich and it did spike my blood sugar. So just watch your carb intakes and definitely know how they affect you. So exercising, I have been doing very faithfully every day, 30 minutes or a little bit more, just depending on how I feel that day. And I typically exercise right after my breakfast. I like to have my blood sugar a little higher, and then that way when I exercise, it kind of comes back down naturally without having to take insulin. Another questions that I had was, I, of course, have a nursing background. I've worked with people who have had type 1 diabetes, but I've never worked with people who were brand new diabetics. And so some of the questions that I was coming up with was like, can I even use a regular razor? Because I know as a diabetic, sometimes as you get older, they don't like you to use a razor, that you use an electric razor. But I did get it okayed by my doctor to continue using a regular razor. And also questions like swimming, can I get in the water, especially if it's lake or river water, because I know a lot of times it can have bacteria and dirtiness to it. So I was scared to even do that. I also got told yes, that I could do that, just to watch for if I have any cuts or anything, just like, a normal person would, to watch for any infections and let them know right away. So yeah, so those were some of my first questions, and definitely don't go off of my answers. Check with your own physician and nutritionist for any questions, make a list, take it in with you. And yeah, so if you have any comments or want to share any of your experiences, like maybe what your first questions or thoughts were with it, definitely leave me a comment and I'll try to get back with you. And I hope everyone has a great day today, and I will talk to you later.